So I thought maybe I would look for something that I could dress up, maybe wear with a dress, go dancing, maybe out on the town. What would you recommend?
Um, Obviously, um, fancier, uh, more decorations on them. Right now, there tends to be a pretty strong push towards a pointed-toed boot for a dress boot and a little higher heel. As traditional ladies' dress shoes tend to have higher heels. That's a Corral brand boot, one of the leaders in the Western fashion female boots right now. Tends to be a very comfortable boot. Let's go ahead and try that on
Okay.
and then see where we are for size. The current fashion is in your dress boots for young women of your age to show their whole boot off and have their pants tucked into their boots. It seems to be quite a popular thing. They want people to notice what an attractive boot they have on. So it tends to be popular to go ahead and tuck your jeans in, wear your whole boot. I'm going to check the size of this. Okay, actually we have a very, very good arch fit in this boot. Here, and make sure there's no wrinkles here, meaning the ball of her foot is too far forward or too far back in the boot, that we're getting a proper fit here. We reach down here, we find the ball of her foot. This is almost a perfect positioning for the ball of her foot, right here in the widest part of the sole of the boot. I guess what we tend to do with the manufacturers tend to make pointed-toed boots a little bit longer to give us more room for our toes. Plenty of room on this side. Kendall does tend to have a little toe here that sticks out, whether it's a square-toed or pointed-toed boot. But by the time that boot breaks in, that excess leather, there's a little leather there that'll give, and it'll make room for that toe and make that boot comfortable. Higher heel, I'm sure feels a little bit different than the lower heel, but it's flattering. It's very flattering, that higher heel boot.
I noticed that the leather on this one is much softer as compared to this one. Would something like this break in quicker with the softer leather?
The fashion boots tend to be sold to people who have never worn boots before. So Corral Boot Company is especially mindful of people who have never worn boots, and they make sure their tops and their linings are extra soft. Equestrians have worn boots all their life, and their feet, their legs, their skin are used to some of the wear spots that the top of a boot will give. A lady walks in here in a dress and has only worn shoes her whole life. She's going to need this extra soft because she's never had anything up here around her leg. And so they put a lining, and then they put a thin cushion in between the lining and the top of this boot to make this boot very, very comfortable.
Something that I was curious about is all the detailing on these. Is this something that's harder to take care of as opposed to something like this boot?
It's a boot that really isn't made to ride your horse in. Wear and tear on the saddle, wear and tear in the barn is going to make it harder to keep that boot clean. Corral boots are premium boots. The detailing, we don't have any problems with detailing coming off, any of that. But cleaning them is much more tedious than your traditional riding boot. So that's something to keep in mind is, it's just not a boot for the barn. It's a boot for going to college in, for going to dinner in, and for dancing in. We will find that your fashion boots all tend to be, or majority of them tend to be a leather-soled boot. Leather-soled boots make dancing much more easier People that dance a lot prefer leather-soled boots. Again, they're fully repairable. You will wear your leather sole out with regular use. If the boots are purchased here, you bring them into our shop. We can totally refurbish, put on a new sole. We do have some very superior cushioning we add to the boot. Makes the boot come out of our shop very comfortable, very usable, and extends the life of your investment. So it makes it a good investment for you.